Aloha and good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for coming today. It's wonderful to see such a enthusiastic turnout. We have been working hard, so it's really great to have people be interested in what we've been doing. And we want to thank especially Chancellor Hokoana, Vice Chancellor Tamanaha, and their staff for welcoming us, providing a lot of hospitality and support, institutional support, as well as logistical support, so we can be here today. We are going to be together for about an hour today, and we're going to be sharing what we've heard, a little bit about the process, and also what kinds of ideas and proposals, very initial stage, have surfaced from our data gathering to date. Before I do that, though, I wanted to have a show of hands of people who had participated in one of our meetings back in February on our kickoff, February 14th. Show of hands, please. Great, thank you for returning. And how many people here have either participated in an interview, a small group, or had some direct communication with the planning team? Oh, wow, thank you. And we thank you very much for your time and all the ideas and all the sharing that you did. We really needed to have that to get the pulse of Maui College. So for those of you who weren't involved in the earlier meeting last 2 months ago, you might be wondering, what exactly is an LRDP? Well, it is a plan for the physical development of the campus. It guides capital improvements, budgeting and planning at the Board of Regents level. And why is it being updated now? Well, you do have an existing LRDP. This is an image of the ultimate plan, but it was produced in 2006. And you know that they don't just materialize overnight. So you know the data that were collected were from at least a year or two prior. So you're kind of ripe for an update of the plan. You have your strategic directions in place that wasn't in existence at that time. There are changes in the educational landscape, different emerging priorities or changing priorities at the campus level. So that's why we're embarking on this update now. These are some of the topics that will be covered in the LRDP, from facility needs, addressing current and future facility needs, to looking at how well you can get around campus, to how you interface with the surrounding community. This is our LRDP update process. As I mentioned, we had a kickoff. We did campus business data gathering. We're here at Workshop 1. We will have another on-campus workshop to share more refined proposals for your input, and that date's TBD, to be decided. And then we'll finish up with actual draft and finalized reports. Chancellor Hokoana has convened an advisory committee for this LRDP process, and they've been providing a little bit more close contact information, guidance in the process. We've had 2 meetings with them so far. These are those who are listed. We just had a meeting right before this. And if anyone is on our advisory committee is present, could you identify yourself or just raise your hand? Okay, we have at least 1 or 2, I think. Great, thank you for coming. I'll be sharing this presentation with Tina Bushnell, and she's going to take over.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we've done in the last few months. So since the kickoff, we have had a website up, which we've collected comments for. We've had an online survey, great participation there. And we've done several interviews on campus, by phone. We've interviewed all the department chairs. We've interviewed several focus groups, trying to align sort of the strategic directions. We've had student engagement outside here in Kalama, where we talk story with students. We've met with a few of your neighbors, and we've also brought in some outside help. How many of you took the online survey? Raise your hand. Great, thank you very much. Okay, so the first question was, what are the best and what are the worst places on campus? Any guesses to the best places on campus? Anybody? Library, yes. How about worst places? Bathrooms, okay, yeah, that was part of it. So this gives you an idea of what they are. The best places were the library, the Great Lawn, and Paina. So probably no real surprises there. The worst places were the unimproved parking lots, which were described as death rattle traps for people's cars, and lower campus.
Yeah, the CPE program.
And and then surprisingly, Paina was the best and the worst. And I think people's comments had to do with, for deciding that it was the worst place on campus, people's comments were geared towards the services. They wanted it to be open longer. They wanted more healthy options. They wanted more food options in other places on campus, things like that. So we've created this infographic that digs a little deeper into some of the survey results. On the upper left, you can get an idea of the wide range of people that actually participated. Lots of 50% students, 35% faculty, and 15% staff. And then they were also represented a broad range of departments, so that was great. The red is those who are on campus at night. So about half are on campus at night, and that has implications for facilities and campus life and student services. On the lower left, we have a stylized ulu tree, and as a symbol of life. The ulu is a symbol of life, and I know it's significant here at Maui College. It's in all your marketing materials. But we used it as to show the priority amenities that people chose as sort of their top 4 priority amenities. Sort of the low-hanging fruit, what can be done for, what would be projects that don't involve capital improvement funds. And then we kind of drilled a little bit deeper, we asked questions about what are the deficits on campus, what's missing, what are the areas that provide opportunities for improvement. And we came up, based on the top choices for those questions, we came up with these big themes of campus student life and learning environment. Students really want to feel like they're comfortable here, they have places to go. They also want their learning environments to reflect the technology of today. They want them to be more student-centered. So there's a lot in this infographic, and we'll have it on our website because I can't talk about it all day. But let's move on.
Can I ask a question? Why was the evening population so heavily represented when it's not necessarily represented on the campus as a whole? In other words, more than half of the students that were interviewed were evidently evening students?
About half.
About half, and
Yeah.
that's not, the proportion of our student body is not half evening students. And the faculty was about 50-50, and that's not about half.
I don't know. This was a sample that, kind of a random sample of people. So if it doesn't represent the whole campus body, then that would be interesting. That would be important to know for us.
I wonder if the data was collected from the survey that not everybody completed.
Well, not everybody completed the survey. Only 122 people, and they were a random sample. We don't self-selected, right? Oh, did I miss something? Yeah.
Oh, switching back. Sorry, no problem. Okay, so from all the data gathering, several themes emerged over the past couple of months that centered on these 8 ideas. And these themes sort of represent either a response to some kind of deficit or shortcoming that was perceived about the campus, or, for example, lack of comfortable gathering places, or they identify some kind of opportunity that hasn't yet been fully exploited or capitalized on, such as links and partnerships with industry and government. Oh. Okay, so you see there's nothing really surprising on this list. You probably experience it day to day, and it's just kind of striking a chord with you. And from those major themes that emerged to the top, we crafted some guiding principles for the plan. The guiding principles reflect current campus values and provide direction for what would be included in the plan. So the major themes form the basis for these. And I know there's a lot of words here, but they kind of center on these 5 principles. If you want to kind of go consider them and review them in a little bit more depth, we actually have a poster that recreates this or represents this back by the filing cabinet to my across and to my right. So if you have comments on it or suggestions, please feel free to leave a Post-it note or something later on. Okay. So we will be applying some evaluation criteria to the different proposals that are being considered throughout this planning process. These are fairly basic planning criteria. They will be customized to the unique and specific conditions of Maui College. So we'll go into a little bit more detail as proposals come forward, how we're going to evaluate one versus another. Okay.
So based on all the information that we have gathered, we've come up with these these categories that we want to highlight, and we'll be breaking up into groups later, and these themes will be gone over. There'll be one theme per group, or one group has 2 or 3 themes, and so there'll be 3 groups, and then we'll be covering all of these themes here. But right now, we're going to show you a bunch of concepts on a map. These are not building footprints, but rather just concepts and locations. So don't get too tied up in the details, and don't worry too much about, where am I going to park my car if you build a building there? Rather, we want you to ask yourselves, are these concepts of buildings good ideas, and are the locations good ideas, and why or why not? And remember, all of these proposals that we're going to show you address some deficit, problem area, or potential opportunity. Okay, the first one is for career and technical education. Career technical education has a long history at Maui College and continues to be really relevant here. So how do we bring the CTE facilities up to speed? We're going to show you 3 different alternatives. And just to orient you a little bit, this is Kahumanu Avenue, and so this is north, pointing up. Wahine Pia is up there. And we've kind of zoomed in into the existing CTE facilities. The areas that are completely filled in pink refer to new construction, and the areas that are outlined in pink refer to renovations. So alternative 1 is a CTE supercenter, where we would construct a 2-story building to consolidate auto tech, auto body, construction tech, and fashion tech. So fashion tech would go on the second story with classrooms and offices. The second alternative would be to separate the trades and have a new auto tech and auto body building built on this side of campus across from Ikelea, and then renovate the existing facilities for construction tech. The third option is we don't have a figure for it, but it's basically renovating and expanding existing facilities. One of the other themes that we have really been exploring is workforce development. And we kind of tried to combine two thoughts here. One is reactivating the Ka'ahumanu face of campus. And the second is bringing the workforce development up to the sort of front face of campus. I see a few of you shaking your heads. Some of these are very bold ideas, and some of them are more conservative. I think, again, these are just ideas, and we want your feedback. The first alternative is to bring OSET up to the front of campus to Ho'okipa.
OSET was built, that building, that mountain building was built legislative funds for OSET. So it was dedicated for that purpose.
Yeah, we understand that. These are just ideas, so don't feel like it's going to happen. It's just an idea. And if it's a bad idea, then we want to hear about it. So let me just move through this. And so the idea would be to bring OSET up to this part of campus in Ho'okipa, construct a workforce development and community hub, and then the student services and administrative support would go to Laulima. The second alternative would be to build a sort of workforce development hub and student services where you would combine both together. So this would be like, when you come to campus, this is your one-stop shop. Everybody's going to go there, prospective students, prospective employers, internships, industry, community members. This would be where you would go to find direction to where you need to ultimately go. Academic advising, career counseling, internships. That would be in this new hub here. And we would renovate Ho'okipa for OSET relocation. And then that would mean that the administration would be consolidated in Laulima, and there would be probably lots of space for other things as well.
Okay, for academic and support services, they mainly focus on consolidation and expansion opportunities where warranted expansion. So the goal here would be to provide functional spaces that meet current and anticipated requirements. So some of these proposals assume that the proposals that Tina just described for the CTE and workforce development are implemented. So in this case, should Ho'okipa be redeveloped for OSET combination workforce development innovation hub type of use, then the current occupants of Ho'okipa would need to go somewhere. So two options would be a new building in which administration and student services would be consolidated, or consolidation in Laulima. Now, if this were to occur, if there is an administration and consolidation, either in a new building or existing building, then the current spaces used for offices, administration offices, could be converted back into instructional space. So that's 3. And we heard a lot of fond thoughts and associations and feelings about this Hale area, the shadiness, the coolness, the unique character of the low density, low rise structures. We also heard that they're kind of not in great shape on the inside, not very functional for 21st century instruction. So the one proposal, and you'll see by this outline, is to renovate the existing hale buildings and also create a pu'uhonua, Center of Hawaiian Knowledge, in this area. Could be renovating the faculty hale or somehow reusing that. So this slide shows a lot of different ideas here. Again, this is Kahumanu, your parking lot here, Great Lawn. So these have mostly consolidation, renovation. The first one, the library, we heard that it's has converted itself to quite a student activity node. We know there's a lot of energy, a lot of people enjoy going there. So we thought, actually someone came up with a proposal to consolidate TLC functions into the library, possibly the first floor, to kind of capitalize on the energy, the activity, the kind of the habit students already have of going to the library and making those services, bringing them to kind of literally the center of the campus. And so if that were to occur, then the vacant spaces in TLC might be reused to consolidate the nursing program from their portable buildings and from their space in Noi'i into the vacated space, so they can be consolidated and co-located with allied health. So number 4 is an interesting idea that came up, and that would be to introduce or establish a Punana Leo Hawaiian language immersion preschool on campus. And so this is showing a new construction and not consolidating the two schools, but creating kind of this early education hub pretty close to the entrance of campus, so it's easy for drop off and pick up. And the proximity to the hale and pu'uhonua would really increase the resources available to that preschool. And I'm sorry, I skipped number 3, which is also to renovate, probably rebuild an actual pu'uhonua building and expand the hale. So create additional small buildings out towards the west to just expand on that low-rise, heart of campus feeling. And number 5, if the preschool were to relocate to a preschool hub or early education hub, then their facility would become available and possibly usable for the security for some kind of permanent office space. Right now they're in portable buildings, as you know, and they have a space in La Lima. But I think due to their technological requirements, and they just need a permanent space. So number 6 is actually in your current LRDP. It suggests moving and consolidating the CTAR cooperative extension facilities and land use together with their other agricultural or the agricultural program at UHMC. And then that would free up their current space in the southeast part of campus for student housing, which we did hear was a great need, or for Hospitality Academy, which is actually renovating this building or will renovate that building. So this is also on the current LRDP. So it's like a site reservation. We don't know if the college would go ahead again with on-campus student housing proposal, but there could be a space there. And in the previous slide, there was a new building right here at the corner of the parking lot was shown as a consolidated admin and student services building. That would displace the O&M function here. So we've identified a spot for them here, which is kind of still accessible to a lot of the campus. There's a space for a fleet vehicle parking. We understand that the the college is going to be acquiring, or probably be acquiring, several vehicles. So there's parking space for them. Okay. So moving on to campus appearance, access, and circulation. This really centers on the goals of helping people get to, from, and around campus comfortably and safely, and also to reinforce the campus's identity and pride. So the first proposal I'm going to talk about is another pretty bold proposal. This is Kahumanu. This is your entrance, and this is the existing frontage driveway. So what this proposal is suggesting is to actually create a more formalized entry experience here by drawing that frontage road and pulling it in the back of Ho'okipa. So this would create kind of a more of a sense of arrival as you first enter the college, and sort of organize this arrival experience. So number two, this road then could be pulled all the way and have another access from Wahine Pio, and then also connect to this existing access that runs by Kelea. 3. Okay, so this proposal is to realign this driveway so it kind of matches up with this access road that the college owns to the beach road. It would be probably a one-way out when needed. And this proposal, number 4, is to establish an electric bus charging and parking area. We understand that the county is interested in beginning a pilot electric bus program, which would serve Maui College as well as, Maui College to and from Lahaina and Kihei. But they would want a spot to charge up their vehicles. And with all the solar generation, power generation plan for the college, we thought that's thought to be a good partnership there. So we've identified a site. We don't really know how many buses are involved or how much space it will require, but that's a potential site. And the last thing on this slide is to enhance this, both the vehicle and pedestrian entry from Wahine Pio. It's kind of subtle right now. We know the MAC really wants the Year 2 campuses to read as one campus. We want a higher, maybe a higher profile so people know where they are if they're not familiar with using this back entrance. And then this entrance it's a pretty important entrance to accessing all the facilities on the west. But when you first arrive, you're kind of like looking at the back of operations and maintenance. You have this kind of funny grasscrete because of all the work vehicles that need to access both the mail room and then other work vehicles. So we're kind of thinking this is a good spot to take another look at. And then for campus life, we want to look at functional amenities that improve the student experience on campus and encourage interaction. We heard that was very important and maybe not sufficiently supported by your current facilities. Activate underutilized parts of campus, so we kind of try to avoid those dead zones. And that slide for the survey, the best and worst places, we want to turn all those frowny faces into smiley faces. So some of these proposals are to create an amphitheater on the Great Lawn, which would help with informal seating just during the day or during events, kind of organize that space a little bit better. Some outdoor gathering spots, fronting Paina on both sides of this building, in the Hale, in front of Ikelea. And then also improving pedestrian access. I mentioned this already, this chiller building that kind of creates this barrier. And then this sort of choke point right here, going from Laulima to Kaike. And then the last thing is creating some usable indoor gathering space. Oh, so just to kind of prime the pump, we put together a couple of examples to share with you. So this is the library, in front of the library near the Great Lawn. So it's right about here. So it's actually looking south. Great Lawn's this way. So, you know, it's kind of a lonely little green bench, nothing special. And we think this might become an important spot if the TLC functions were to be relocated to the bottom floor or some other more student, heavy student activity kind of function located there. So this is what could occur. You know, more seating, sort of terraced area where informal seating could occur, art on the walls. And this is Ho'okipa Courtyard. We heard that was an underutilized spot in spite of the beautiful tea plant. So it's right here. So it could fairly easily be converted to a gathering spot, a lunch spot, somewhere, you know, colleagues can collaborate outside of their office in some natural light and natural air. So right now, we're going to have about 25 minutes, 25 minutes, I know it's not a whole lot of time, to break up into smaller groups. We have 3 stations where you can kind of investigate these proposals a little bit better, leave us your thoughts. And I just want to emphasize that it's, you know, like Tina was saying, there's ideas. We want to hear your thoughts, pros and cons of the proposals. And also, if we don't get all of your thoughts today, this presentation will be available on the website. There'll be a mechanism to leave your additional comments or to ask additional questions. So don't feel like this is your last time that you're going to have input.